This thing's been running backwards since last week. Seriously, though, I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers again. I picked up another 1,000 subscribers in the last week, and I'm over 3,000 now, so thanks to everyone. I've had quite a few comments in the last week regarding the Reeves drive and even a few emails. You're only supposed to operate it if the motor is running, and it has a range of 45 RPM to 250 in back gear and 220 to 1550 in direct drive. It can be quite stiff to operate when you're increasing RPM, and it's pretty easy to decrease RPM, but I think that's just a function of the way it's designed. And I can understand for the time that it was built in that this was gee whiz cool technology, but in today's world, I don't really think it's applicable anymore with the VFD. If I put it down on the low RPM setting on the Reeves drive and turn the VFD up, it seems to be fairly happy. I do have some issues with the belts being old. They had quite a bit of memory in them. So I had to run it for an extended period of time to get that memory out of the belts. And they did shed quite a bit of rubber particles all over the inside of the cabinet, but that eventually stopped. And they look okay, but they're not the greatest. And the belts are hard to come by. They're very expensive if you can find them, and they're all old. Well, guess what? Mine are old too. So not real happy with the Reeves drive, and the bearings seem to be tight, but I'm sure that they're lacking lubrication. So for right now, it's functional. I just want to get past this part and get the rest of the lathe done, and then I'm going to come back and revisit the Reeves drive. If you have modified this setup and made a direct drive with a VFD, or if you did something different with idler pulleys or what have you, please share with the rest of us. I'd like to know what you did. I kind of already have an idea of how I'd go about modifying it, but like I said, for right now I'm just going to get past it and get the rest of the lathe done and come back and get it sorted out later. And just a side note on the Reeves drive, this is the first day that I had it running. I have since adjusted the belt tension and lubricated the pulley itself, the large aluminum pulley, and tried to adjust the tension on it so that it would remain in a high RPM position to no avail, and tried to figure out what the mystery clanking noise is that I can't seem to locate. But I did make it quieter, and it does work smoother and better, but I still have a mystery clank, and yeah, like I said, not real happy with it. Alright, so moving right along, I thought it would be good to show a part from start to finish that's painted, that you want to clean up, and you want to keep the paint on it. You don't want to repaint it. So basically I start by degreasing it. In this case I'm using mineral spirits instead of Purple Power or Simple Green or any of those kind of products. And again, I'm using mineral spirits on the outside. It helps with removing the oxidation, and it seems to help rehydrate the paint to some degree. Now, your mileage may vary with this depending on what kind of paint you have. So you need to do like a test area before you try this technique, but I'm using a soft stainless steel wire brush, and that removes all of the rust that's in the paint chips and the cracks and what have you, and leaves the paint looking pretty good. Actually, it seems to buff off the oxidation pretty well and doesn't leave any scratches. Leaves a good surface. If you were to do that with Scotch-Brite, you'd ruin it. I'm being careful here to stay on the rust area and not jump off onto the painted surface with the wire wheel. Obviously, that would ruin the paint really quick, so I can't get right up in the corners, so I have to finish that part by hand. And with a coat of automotive quality wax, it shines right up. This is a good trick for installing drive screws. They can be quite fiddly to install by hand, if not impossible. So what I figured out is just using a pair of tweezers to get it started in the hole helps out a lot. There's no way for you to hold that with your fingers. And it's a little bit too small for needle nose in most cases. With a fresh coat of grease on the bull gear and the back gears, I'm done inside the headstock. I would imagine a lot of you will recognize this company. I was kind of surprised to see this. And a little break from the lathe. Here's about a minute of footage that I shot at the North Carolina State Fair.
How'd you like to break that and get the heart out?
Oh man.
When the quick change gearbox was still installed on the lathe, I wasn't able to rotate it completely. And so this gear I'm pointing out is the E position on the left hand tumbler. All of the teeth are stripped off of it, and you can see there's some teeth, and it caused some damage to this gear, but I was able to dress it with a file and get that working properly. Position E is for the finest of fine threading, so I don't think I'll ever have to worry about that. But if I do, I'll cross that bridge whenever I come to it. So I like how they put a roll pin in that keyway to index it to the gear so that it would stay located on the shaft whenever the tumblers slide back and forth. That's pretty cool. But for some reason I can't keep this one located in the hole. I guess I should have put a little dab of grease on there and that would have solved that problem. There is a C-clip that you have to walk onto the shaft as you're installing it. It's there to keep the tumbler in position. This gearbox has the highest population density of Gitz oilers I've ever seen. There's 10 of them on that gearbox, which is awesome. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Here's some footage of the snowstorm that blanketed most of North Carolina last week. And we got about a foot here, which is, I've never seen in North Carolina, that much snow. Usually it snows and it's gone. I still have snow in my front yard. It's a week later.